So, welcome back, everyone. I hope you've had a good lunch. It's quite cold here today, so I'm actually envying the beautiful blazers that you all are wearing. And all of the people here today are representing lifestyle, some from fashion, some from accessories, and of course, our main kitchen. And they're all male here, so there seems to be a little bit of disparity. But let's start. Thank you so much for joining us. It'll be great if you could introduce yourselves.
Hi, this is Mohit, founder and CEO of Miraggio.
Hi, my name is Myank and I am the CEO for ILG.
Hi, this is Nishit here. I'm the co-founder at Kalki Fashion.
Hi, this is Ravi Saxena. I am founder and CEO of Wonderchef.
Fantastic. And we'll soon have Akhil online. So, Mr. Saxena, we'll start with you. Wonderchef, if nothing else, is a collaboration between a master chef and a great retail brand. Tell us, how have you leveraged this collaboration and all the others to create such a wonderful brand?
Thank you, Nandita. Pleasure to be here, first of all. Always a pleasure to share one story. And I think you have asked a very question close to my heart, that how has the association with Chef Sanjeev Kapoor helped us. When he introduces me, he says, "This is Wonder, I am chef." But I think he is also the wonder and he's also the chef. Because he is clearly the biggest celebrity in the field of culinary. My expertise has been engineering and product design, knowledge of retail, knowledge of business. In the first part of my career, for about 15 years, I was the founder CEO of Sodexo in India. People have heard of Sodexo? Suna hai kisi ne? So Sodexo, I was the first person in India. And when I left the company after 15 years, we were about 35,000 strong team. It became such a huge success. And I learned everything about food globally, because it's the world's largest food service company. But then I thought that we want to bring quality to the Indian kitchen. We want to bring solutions to the Indian kitchen. We want to bring health, taste, convenience to the Indian kitchen. But it is easier said than done. If I just start with some high-end equipment, people will not trust me. I will have no credibility as a brand. It will take huge investments. And that's where I approached Chef Sanjeev Kapoor, saying that, why don't you partner with me, be our brand ambassador, be our soul, develop recipes for the products I design, and let's do it together. So it was a partnership right from day one, not only in terms of endorsement, but in terms of design and, let's say, the details of the brand. That anything that we make has to have recipes of Chef Sanjeev Kapoor, which are oriented towards health, taste, convenience. It has helped us beautifully. I think we are about $100 million strong brand today in India, over 800 crores in sales, which in our industry is very powerful, I can tell you. And the biggest thing is that we have been able to reach chef's vision of healthy cooking through his recipes in every home. Because great recipes require great equipment, great cookware, great food prep appliances to cook. And I think we have been able to make that a reality. So I think in tune with the topic of this discussion, this is truly a partnership which has worked.
Fantastic. And it's a story that everyone knows. So Nishit, over to you. You have a luxury bridal wear brand, and you've escalated and expanded in expansion in a big way. But you also use a lot of Indian designers, and you have their diffusion lines with you. So how have these partnerships worked out? Has it made the brand grow, or is it just for marketing purposes? How do you use these partnerships?
Firstly, what we try to identify ourselves, when people try to box us in a certain category, we do not really classify ourselves restrictively in a bridal space. What we like to place ourselves is really in the Indian celebration wear. And that spectrum is really wide right now. So in that space, in terms of the design, in terms of the kind of width that we offer, uh, it extends from different sorts of occasions, and hence you would get, for example, a pure Banarsi sari as well at a Kalki, and you would get a cocktail gown as well with us, right? So in the process of creating such a width, we are always collaborating with a lot of artisans, right? So, I mean, alongside, we of course house a number of Indian designers in the company itself who are having an expertise in different spaces. So we don't restrict ourselves with one design philosophy. The idea is to really be adaptive in that nature and keep collaborating, hence, with different people that we require to be in tune with what the customer's requirements are. So the artisans is something that we hold very closely in terms of collaborating, because it's not just one region or one art form that is resonating with the Kalki design philosophy. We are always adapting. For example, this year we explored the Banarsi weaves in a very explosive way, and we launched at the Lakme Fashion Week a collection for the very first time, which was dedicated towards the weavers at Banaras, right? So that has become a very strong part of the collaboration, more than the designers that we collaborate with. It's more in terms of the people at the back end are also the stronger collaborators for us.
So how do you keep it affordable as well? Because artisans and pure weaving and pure fabrics are huge. The price point is huge, but Kalki is both known for affordable luxury fashion. So how do you manage to do that?
I think what's important for us is that we genuinely believe in being honest with the customer. You know, so that's something that we hold very closely. We are very authentic in our approach, in the sense of what kind of collection we put out there, as well as how we market ourselves and how we position ourselves. So right from the inception, the idea has been to create a bridge to luxury brand, and to be able to fill in that gap where someone who aspires for a designer wear should not have to sell an organ to be able to buy that, right? So that's been the idea since the beginning. A lot of innovation in terms of design is a strong part of that. So we're always listening to the customer. We are always looking out that what is the next thing that the customer is looking for. We are not stuck at something that is part of our philosophy alone. So that allows us that flexibility. And in the quest of that, we are able to keep producing stuff that the customer is really requiring.
Lovely. So Myank, over to you. You hold a lot of international licenses for your accessories. And if you could tell us which international brands you are marketing in India and distributing, and how has your journey been? And the second question of this is that what do you see the scope of the licensee market in India today?
So just to give you a brief, we are in the business of watches, men's accessories, women's jewelry, fashion jewelry, not real jewelry, and eyewear and small leather goods. So to name a few, we are doing brands like FC UK, French Connection, Police, Ducati, McLaren, Chiruti, Saint Honore Paris, Swiss Military. So these are just a few, and we have a little more brands which are not very known in India yet. So what was the second question? Sorry, ma'am.
How big is the license market in India?
Oh, for us right now, see, watch industry is a very, I would say, very small in size in regards to, not in the value, but in size. So everyone really knows each other, and everyone is trying to keep bringing in more and more international brands in India, because licensing is a very, very big game for us. Like, for example, right now, all the brands which we are doing in India, we don't really own them. We've taken them only on a license level, on a worldwide level. Some, maybe one or two for only India, but rest are only, like for example, in the watches industry, we do not have more than 5 to 6 players in India. We are one of them. We are the key people. We are trying to learn from people like Titan, who is again doing licensing business. But licensing, it's not only about getting the brand to India and showcasing it. It's about designing, development, sourcing, getting and understanding your consumer, and delivering the right product at the right price. Also maintaining the quality. So, like for example, with Ducati, they want us to integrate the bike's aesthetics in the product. For example, the strap of the watch will be made of Italian leather, which is actually the same leather on the seat. Then, for example, Swiss Military, they want us to only use machines, case bodies, hands, dials made out of Switzerland. So, every brand has a different aesthetic, different target audience. We try and understand that. And in India, we are still very small because the market is very, very big. So we're trying to target every, वो कहते हैं ना कि nook and corner of the country.
Great. I'll come back to you. I have few more questions about this licensing industry. So, yeah, Mohit, over to you. And you're not getting away from technological questions. Tell us, Miraggio is a new age bag brand, and you expanded in a short time from D2C. Now you're coming towards the offline area. So how has technology enabled you to make the best of the products and use it in your marketing strategies?
No, so I think trying different stuff with technology has helped us in marketing. So, for instance, we've used AI in our marketing strategy. We did a lot of advertisement for one of the collaboration partnerships that we did with one of the designers in India. And that has really helped us to stand out in the market because honestly, in such a crowded space where thousands of posts coming every second, standing out from a brand standpoint, no matter how good of a content you create, becomes very, very difficult and very challenging. Although we put a lot of emphasis on creating the right content, very aspirational content, a very international level of content, but I think the algo fucks it all up, and it's not easy no matter how big or small of a brand you are. So I think technology has helped us there to actually create something which is visually very appealing and stand out in the market. So 2 or 3 of the AI-led creatives that we did performed really, really well. Second, I think we've used technology in terms of D2C operations a lot. So I think there are a lot of tools which actually helps you reduce RTO, which actually helps you understand your consumer and actually, so where you get a lot of data about the consumer behavior. There are certain consumers who are just making a purchase and not actually taking it, so they helps to sort of ban it. There are certain other technologies such as one-page checkout, which has really helped us, improve our conversion rates. Then we've used certain tools which has helped us increase our prepaid rate, hence decrease the RTO rate. So today, Miraggio has about 70% rate of prepaid orders on the website. So I think these are the few areas which we have leveraged as a brand to use the technology to improve either operations or the marketing.
Fantastic. So, Mr. Saxena, we come back to you. So, today's consumer, Gen Z and the upcoming Gen Alphas, they hop onto trends so fast. So, how have you innovated your products to appeal to both the older crowd, which is already, they know about Wonderchef, and how have you got these new audiences in?
Yeah, a very interesting question, Nandita. I would say that the pandemic was a watershed moment in our industry. Because in the pandemic, everyone was forced into their kitchens. The cooks and maids were not allowed in societies. There were people who discovered this corner of the house called kitchen for the first time. And I remember people used to call me saying, "Hum log ye kya use kar rahe hain? What the hell are we using in our kitchen? I want to make my whole kitchen Wonderchef." And that was music to my ears. So when people saw what kind of equipment they are using or they are lacking in basic equipment and they were forced to do things, they invested. It also coincided with a macro social trend because this was the time, 20s, when the so-called millennials, they became young. They started working. Because who do we call a millennial? The people who opened their eyes in the new millennium. They were born in the 90s. They woke up in the new millennium. They turned about 8, 10 in the new millennium. And they were coming into the work culture. And that is the crowd you're talking about. So these people suddenly became the primary buyers and influencers at home. And that is where our kind of a brand, which is young by nature, which is modern, which is tech-oriented, design-oriented, it got tailwinds. And since then, we have been enjoying the highest growth in the industry every single quarter for the last 12 quarters. Now, how have we been able to leverage it? We have been able to do it by launching tech-oriented appliances because we understand that this TG, this target, they understand technology, they are not scared of it. And with technology, we can make things easier. So we have launched a range called smart appliances, which has become almost 45-50% of our turnover. And these are moats that we have been able to build around our brand because nobody else, no other brand somehow dares to touch these. Because perhaps, thankfully, they are still in that traditional mindset. They have to sell through dealers, they have to convince them. We also do that, but we do that hard work. We convince those dealers. Let me give you a couple of examples. Soups and salads were not popular Indian food. They're a Western concept, but they became very popular in pandemic. But to make a soup at home will take you about 90 minutes. You know the whole process of boiling, cooling it down, then chopping, then sieving, and so on. We developed a soup maker where you just put the vegetables, press a button, in 20 minutes, rich, fiber-rich soup is ready. You know, so it's much more healthy, very tasty, 20 minutes flat. Recently, we launched an automatic kitchen robot where chef's recipes are coded in. It's literally a smartphone built inside the product. You can choose a recipe. Let's say you want to make palak paneer. It'll tell you, okay, put 100 gram oil, press the button. It will heat the oil to the extent it's required. Put palak, put spinach. It will chop the spinach to the extent it's required as per the recipe. Essentially, even if you do not know how to cook at all, which is the case with a lot of millennials, they can cook a perfect dish with this. Okay? So these kind of appliances, we were able to not only develop, but invest behind their growth, and the market is rewarding us for that.
Lovely. So you already have a kitchen robot and a soup maker. I have that. So that's a fantastic way of starting from kitchen pans with MasterChef and coming to
No, absolutely.
robots.
And I think the Indian market is ready for that. And not only that, NRIs across the world, because you know typically Indians become the highest earning community because of their hard work and sincerity in any country they go to. And it's famous that in US they earn more than the white Americans. And they are asking for our products because they not only they many times don't know how to cook, they don't have time. So we have just opened our US operations. We are marketing in US with absolutely fabulous response.
Fantastic. So our last panelist, Akhil, has finally joined us. Akhil, can you hear us? We can't hear him. We can't hear Akhil. Still can't. Are you on mute, Akhil, by any chance? You're fine? Guys?
So yesterday I was speaking at some seminar, and I said everything in the world will work, but these projections and audios will never work in the first time.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Let's be patient. It'll come, Akhil. Don't worry. These are not moving robots. We call it a kitchen robot because it cooks itself. It's like a large.
Akhil, can you say something? Maybe we can hear you.
It doesn't have moving arms, but it does all chopping.
No. We still can't hear him. Please fix this, and I'll ask Nishit till then. Nishit, tell me, how are you balancing the innovations and legacy designs in Kalki Fashion?
So, I mean, in terms of innovation, we take it as part of our DNA across the board, right? So, as part of the design, of course, we use a lot of the traditional art forms, like how I mentioned in terms of the artisans and the sort of art forms that have been there since centuries. What we try to do by innovating is we try to give it modern silhouettes, a sort of take on the designing part of it, which becomes a more sort of a representation for the youth of the country. So that's somewhere that we take innovation very seriously as part of the design part of it. So we incorporate the modernity into the traditional art forms, and that's been the take in terms of creating some of the more, I would say, legendary designs of ours that have, you know, had a lot of stylists, celebrities take a lot of interest into that. Besides that, in terms of innovation, something that we are very proud of is how we are able to execute, you know, as you mentioned, in terms of the NRI community that lives outside of India. So we take a very strong, we're very positive in terms of the approach of how we enable buying couture online. So that's been something that's somewhere a marquee thing for us, where about 10 years ago, using all the experience that we had gathered from the stores, we were able to incorporate that and create an online way of buying a bridal lehenga. So you still get the customized, personalized piece of garment, but you don't actually need to come to the store. And we have a great success rate in that. I mean, more than 95% of the customers get the fittings exactly as per what they had wished for. So that's been an innovation which did not probably require a lot of tech, but it required an innovative way of thinking and sort of moving the mood board in terms of how something that can be traditionally done at the store, how can that be represented online. So similarly, a lot of our offerings and services that would otherwise resonate only with an offline storefront are things that we've been able to bring about on our website.
Perfect. So can we hear Akhil now?
Nandini, can you hear me?
Finally we can.
Finally. All right. Hi, guys.
Increase
I'm
his
so sorry
voice.
for missing out on this wonderful session. But thanks to technology, you can be at times present at certain places.
Yeah, we are missing you and your humor. So, in our last conversation, I remember you telling me that your customer is both the daughter and the mother. So, tell
That's
us,
correct.
how has this been possible? How are you creating products for both the daughter and the mother?
Hi guys, hi everyone. I could not meet you in person, but it's good to see you on the screen. So, we've been there in the country for almost 3 decades, servicing the baby boomers and the millennials, and now servicing their daughters. So, I think consistency has been one factor that though we have also aged with our consumer, but we have never left the new age consumer, or probably the bigger pie of consumer has always been in the hindsight of us, has been always been the most important part. So so as my customer has matured, though we have also adapted to what she wanted, what she required, but we've also kept a close eye on how this new age Gen Zs and the late millennials are kind of their requirements. Quality, attention to detail, women, the Indian body sizes is something the brand has been very very cautious of, and has been trying to deliver the best it can to this consumer.
And are you collaborating with other designers or doing character licensing or anything to make this happen?
Yeah, see, licensing has become a big part of, I think, every brand, every modern brand's collection. So, as a consumer, consumer says, okay, I know this brand, I know the fits, but what's new with this brand? So, with the concept of, as a category, we say, okay, a few years back, there were no jumpsuits, we brought in jumpsuits. There were no cord sets or ensembles, we brought in ensembles. But the consumer says, okay, what new? How would I relate, or how would I, be more socially visible to the new audience? So this on in this way, licensing does very well, and in today's time, I think about 7% of my business is coming through the licensing collection.
That's fantastic. So, what do you think is the licensing industry looking at for streetwear fashion?
Yeah, it's big, and India is still maturing to these concepts. And there in North America, they are the pioneers for licensing, with likes of Marvels and Coca-Cola being the biggest licensors in the world. And India has woken up to the concept of licensing and cross collaborations very recently. And I think it's a long way to go for every brand, including maybe utensils or kids wear, toys, apparels become one of the easier things to adapt to faster.
Lovely. Akhil, will come back to you in
Yeah,
just a
sure.
while. Yeah. So, Mayank, you were telling me that you have recently collaborated and used AI. So, can you tell us more about it? It seems extremely interesting.
So, as you know, we are designing watches. We are developing it, out of China, out of India. We're taking inspirations from other brands, let it be the colors or let it be the design sense, to match the aesthetic of the brand. Now, what happens is our knowledge is limited because we are looking at only watches as a whole. We know new colors, we know what is coming in trend, but we've tied up with this agency. I will not say an agency, it's like a startup based out of Milan, and they are completely AI driven, and they work on CAD files, they make renderings. So and they're all Gen Zs, huh? They're all Gen Zs. So it's not some very big company which we've tied up with, but I think they will be wonderfully big one day. And what they do is they sit and they design the dials, the case, the strap for us. For example, they just recently designed a watch and they came up with a very good idea. Just as Akhil was also saying for licensing, like we are also trying to license, trying to do co-branding. Like, like we have a brand, for example, French Connection. We are making very classic, clean watches. Now we're trying and tying up with artists around the world and getting their paintings on the dial of the watch. So the AI is helping us get that made automatically within a few minutes, which would take us maybe, I think, months to think, implement it, analyze, and whatever, execute it. It's so fast for us to get the product manufactured and getting it on the shelf. The timeline is so quick now that I think we're just growing at a very good rate because of AI. I know it's a blessing for us. I don't know for the rest, but it's doing very well. Even on the collaboration bit, sorry, just want to add one more thing. We have started looking a lot at sustainability, which, there's an audience out there now, especially Gen Zs, as we are talking about Gen Zs. They've become very conscious about the environment. Therefore, we've started integrating sustainability into our product line. We're developing like straps which are more, which are made out of, like vegan leather, not the animal skin. We're trying to make watches out of recyclable waste. Packaging is no more plastic. We're trying to understand that. So even that collaboration with these expert agencies sitting out abroad has helped us a lot. We didn't have the expertise for that. We're learning from them. So that collaboration has been very important for us also.
Yeah, AI and sustainability are the buzzwords today, isn't it? And would you agree with that, Mohit? You are a new age brand. Are you using both these, what do you call, the buzzwords to create a more woke brand?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So sustainability is a big buzzword, right? And so is AI. So are you, as a new age brand, also encouraging and using these buzzwords in your
No, I don't think, I think we're not using the buzzwords, honestly, but we as a brand are of course not using a leather, so it's already PU, it's a vegan leather any which way. But that's not one of the most marketing way that we use it in our marketing. But yes, of course it is very important, but I think it's going to take years for people to sort of understand and actually be a part of it, because I think sustainability also comes at a cost. And talking about it is a different story, and paying for it is a different story in my view. So I think acceptance will come at a later stage. Making a small part of your business as a sustainable is one thing. So I think sustainability in itself is a very debatable topic. So I mean, I can say, okay, our leathers are sustainable, but it's PU, it's made out of plastic. So I mean, it's very, very debatable in terms of what is sustainable, what is not sustainable. Hence, we don't use it in our marketing. We want to be honest to our consumers. We are a fashion-based brand, and honestly, people who are buying it don't care about it. And otherwise, if they were caring about it, they would not buy a handbag twice a month or thrice a month, or not buy apparels every week, right? So I think it's very subjective discussion.
So are you using AI or any kind of tech to create so many products? Your designs change like overnight.
No, I don't think AI is there yet. I don't think AI, I mean, at least we haven't found anything which is closer to creating the designs that would be apt for Miraggio. And I think the use of AI has to be in a very right manner, because if it's basically like going to China and picking up product and saying, okay, hey, just change my name on this brand. Because AI is so open to everybody that tomorrow you can go and make the same design. So there is not going to be any exclusivity with us. So, I mean, so far we don't have any product, and I haven't come across any product. I hope there is one, because it will change our life. It will save us a lot of cost, a lot of time. As you mentioned, right, it's working for them probably. Because, see, once you're close to, okay, this is the body of my watch and this is the print, Incorporating with the help of AI, creating multiple options is faster. But then creating a design from scratch and saying, okay, this is the trend, this is the color, this is the body, this is the detailing, and then combining it all, what human can do, I don't think AI is right there right now. And I don't think exclusivity will remain if that happens as well. I don't know how it is going to operate. So for us, no, I think it's humans designing Miraggio bags right now.
Thank God for that. Otherwise, our designers and artists would go out of job, right?
Yeah.
So now I have a common question for all of you. Please tell me one disruptive partnership that you've witnessed in the last 1 or 2 years.
So first of all, partnership I think is a new way of standing out and creating that exclusivity in the brand or in the market, because in such a crowded space, for example, our industry like handbags becomes very hard to differentiate beyond a certain point. I mean, how many bodies, how many bags, how many colors, how many trends, although we are the India's only first brand to be launching bags every month. But I think partnership is a great way of or standing out in the market. It's also one of the new age marketing is what I feel. So I think the recent collaboration we did was one of the celebrity brand. And it worked out really well for us, and I think we're going to do a lot more of it, not just with celebrity brands, but also, as he mentioned, artists across the world, which are relevant to our audience, which will create that aspirational value amongst consumer mind. Because I think what everybody in today's world is looking at is exclusivity. Oh, there are only 500 pieces, I own one of them, right? So we want to do it with artists, we want to do it with influencers, we want to do it with right brands, we want to do it with food brands, disrupt how different brands can come in together and create a magic in the fashion industry as well. So I think you will see a lot of it coming in. We did a small trial last year and it was very successful for us. But in the coming years, you will see a lot of crazy partnerships under Miraggio.
Perfect. What about you, Myank?
So I totally agree with what Mohit is saying, because you see now customers looking for something different. Like every brand has everything. What different do you have to offer on the table? Especially for the Gen Z, which I'm seeing, is they want something new every day. So like as he said, there's something new coming up on a monthly level. That is very good. You need that. So we, same way, just to disrupt the market, we tied up with the French government. What we did was we bought the iron metal wasted out of the Eiffel Tower. When the Eiffel Tower was made, they wasted a lot of iron. So you can actually buy that from the government. So we bought that and we made the body of the watch from that Eiffel Tower metal. We give the certificate with the watch that this is from that. So it's got a very good aspirational value. And maybe the brand name is not so strong in India. I'll tell you the brand name. It's called Saint Honore Paris. It is from France. We've taken the rights for that. Again, license, because we're sitting at the licensing business here. But that concept worked very well for us. It was like a disruptive concept for that country. Maybe not in India. India में हम ताज महल के साथ try करेंगे.
Don't make marble watches, yeah.
But yeah, see, you need to do something disruptive. You need to be there. To be in the game, you have to collaborate, because our company motto also, if you see online on our website, it says stronger together. Yeah. That's something very hitting right. I heard someone saying that people are competing at the lower level. The people at the top are collaborating. I read this somewhere. It's not my quote, but it's true. It's true.
Absolutely. Nishit?
So yeah, I think on the whole, as you mentioned, partnership and collaborations, I think we are past the phase of endorsements and brand ambassadors, and we are sort of strongly moving towards the phase of collaborating with, even if we are talking about celebrities. So the brands that are getting identified or, people are taking notice of is where there's something meaningful with the personality that you are working with. So something that we have always held strong to us as, because we get questioned this a lot of times, like the brand is at a certain stage, why don't you have a brand ambassador like a lot of our competitors do? But we've never believed in that. So, we work on a daily basis with stylists and celebrities. But the idea is to always find a correct match for the product and the design and the personality that celebrity brings in. So even, for example, our showstoppers, we do find the correct faces that would represent that collection to its purest form. And that's something that I believe today's customer takes notice of. They identify, recognize, and see it through in terms of what that collaboration brings. There's more authenticity to it. No point getting a Janvi Kapoor in an outfit that she would otherwise not be seen wearing. So that's the kind of partnership that we bring into the picture. It's never vanilla. We want to go into the layers in trying to find that. And in terms of the kind of partnerships that we've done with other brands, designers, in which we continue to do so, is always from an idea that how can we move the needle a little bit in a direction that's not been explored. So we always try to find a partner to create something that we would not be able to do ourselves. The idea is always where the two worlds come together and then create magic. So something we did with this brand called Demi, which is by this Gabriella, good friend. And so the idea there was that she's completely into Western wear. We are known for our wedding celebration wear. And how do we create something that's unique as a mix of it? And we just knew that once the two brains sit together, we'll create something magical, right? And that's exactly what happened. And it's been 3 seasons that we've done that. This year, we'll be launching such other collaborations and partnerships with a lot of different personalities, where we really get into the DNA of what their fashion represents, what Kalki stands for, and then bring that together. So we somewhere feel that really taking that little bit of a risk is something that the partnership allows you to do, and that's very important to take that edgy decision and create something that's special and unique in itself.
Perfect. And of course, limited edition is the norm, isn't it? If I have it, you
Absolutely.
should have it. Yeah. Mr. Saxena?
Yeah, I think everyone has spoken about brand partnerships, and I started the discussion about the brand partnership with Chef Sanjeev Kapoor. So I'll take this question one level up. What is happening in the macroeconomic environment in India today? So you see, in the last 4 or 5 years, made in India has become a force. The government is also making it more and more difficult to import things freely. Okay? There are many non-tariff barriers which are being put. And I think personally it's good for the country, because otherwise our manufacturing would simply not move up. In textiles, of course, we have been strong. But in other industries, in appliances, in high tech, we were simply not there. So the kind of partnership I am talking about is between the brand and the manufacturer. That's a different kind of partnership. It's not about being celebrity or not. Because this is an era of specialization. And in specialization, building a brand is very difficult. Anybody aspires to build a brand, so there's a lot of competition. Only few succeed. Similarly, manufacturing, high-tech equipment, appliances is also an area of specialization. And there was an era when the manufacturers used to create brands, right? So Philips was a manufacturer, created a brand. Prestige, the largest player in our industry, was a manufacturer, they created a brand, they had the muscle. Today, people can build brands in D2C mode with lesser investments. So there are far many more brands. But to be a manufacturer and be nimble enough to build a brand is very difficult. So my thought today is that this is an era of fabless. Take the most highly valued company on earth. It's NVIDIA. They don't manufacture anything. They design, they understand client's requirement, and get it manufactured through another very high-level company, let's say TSMC, which is also a great company. And that's a classic example of partnership. And I believe India is moving towards that. I see it every day. Wonderchef follows that model. We have developed, we have invested in about 20 different factories. We don't own a factory, but we have invested in toolings and expertise in 20 different factories, and we source all our things from there. And it's working beautifully. And I think it's just the beginning. So India will go more and more towards that. I'm waiting for the day when even the car brands, like in China, will be fabless. You design a great car, the vendor ecosystem is there, you just put it together, assemble it together, and you launch a car.
Fantastic. Akhil, your thoughts?
Yes, it's been, I've heard everyone, and I would like to be in somewhere in between Mr. Nishit and Mr. Saxena in terms of when we talk about, say, a partnership, as Mr. Saxena said. So, we are a company who started as a manufacturer, tried to build a brand in the country, and today we are a retailer more than a manufacturer. And we are probably a small example of how we pivoted from being just a manufacturer to a retailer. And as Mr. Saxena rightly said, that those manufacturer to retail collaboration is important. So even I have developed a few suppliers who basically sense demand on my retail counter and and respond to that demand. So in spite of things coming back down to right to my merchandising team, so they are also deploying their own merchandising team or their own KPIs to see, okay, do I have a capacity to produce more for this particular category or SKU because it is going off shelf faster. So that is one. What Nishit said is also true, but you imagine, for example, Shania, we've taken Shania Kapoor as the face of the brand today, and it was a very cautious call about how we want to move on with this collaboration. Will it be just a pure play photo shoot, video shoot, put it on social media, put some brandings in these stores, etc., etc., or how do we go about it? So for what my marketing team did was, in selection of Shania, say they started from Met Gala, they went till fabulous Bollywood vibes. They tried to sue that, that thread that okay, because the brand is actually looking at those moms as well and the Gen Zs as well. So she becomes an apt, a brand face for us. And other than just having her days for say video shoot and photo shoot, we actually did a collaboration with Spotting, that how many times she should be seen by the paparazzi or the media wearing madam. And that's actually worked very well for us because we really did very good with listening tools on our social media, and whenever she posted a product she was wearing and she tagged madam into it, and we listened through the social media tools, the sentiments were very nice. So it will, so probably it's a balance of what you do, how you do. The Today's world is all about storytelling. Product is available across the brands, across the manufacturers, across the stages. It's all about what the story that you want to tell. For example, for a brand like us, as somebody on the gentleman on the extreme right is saying about the handbags made out of PU or vegan leather, for example. So essentially, they cannot be termed sustainable. But how we look at sustainability, is what how am I able to actually first find out my carbon footprint, and what steps do I take to make myself towards carbon neutrality, one. And second, as a textile brand or as somebody who's into fashion, we are kind of the black sheeps of the sustainability because of the dyeing, the washing, everything that goes into the manufacturing and even retailing this product. So trying to understand, okay, are we using more of, for example, we started using more of recycled polyester. So this means whatever things are being thrown away in polyester. So these companies who are picking those products up and regenerating fibers out of that. So that is being used. So for me, as my target is today, I'm doing about 10% of that eco-aware collection in the stores, and which is again kind of a limited edition collection which the customer really likes, but obviously that comes at a price. I don't My 100% customer base doesn't want that collection. It's hardly that 5 to 7% people who are willing to pay or who are sensitive enough to say okay, I want something out of regenerative polyester because it's made from waste, or probably it's been recycled. But primarily, largely, the consumer still now they talk about it. It's good for social media listening, but probably in the actual life it doesn't work that way.
I think we should have a whole new panel on the word of sustainability and how much real it is. But thank you so much. It was a very, very good session, but we are running a little late, so we'll take all the questions offline. So as of now, I think we should move on to the next one. But thank you so much. It was fantastic having you all here.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Akhil,
much.
for joining us
Yeah.
from
Thank you so
somewhere
much, Nandini.
cold.
Thank you, guys.